And finally, we have a decision in the case of a police officer killing an unarmed black man who happened to have been fleeing. Now, former South Carolina police officer Michael Slager has been sentenced to at least 19 years in jail over the death of Walter Scott, the killing of Walter Scott. That is, of course, a black man whom Slager had shot in the back as he was trying to run away from the cop. Now, you guys remember that video. It's a hard video to watch where Walter Scott, he's running away from Slager, and you know, he's not a threat. He's running away. He's running for his life. And Slager takes out his gun and shoots him in the back anyway. And then later on, in that same video, attempted to plant evidence to say that, oh, look at that. See, my life was in danger. It was definitely premeditated. At least the planting of the evidence was. And so, you couldn't watch that video without seeing that. Now, of course, there was a trial earlier that ended in a mistrial when there were people that actually couldn't see that that was a major problem, that there was premeditation there, and said, oh, yeah, hey, man, look, I'm not going to convict this guy because I'm racist, and so is he, and we protect our own. At least that's my read of the situation. Now, ABC News reports that U.S. District Judge David Norton ruled on Thursday that Slager must serve a prison sentence between 19 and 24 years for both committing second-degree murder and obstructing justice. Now, Slager, of course, during his trial, tried to use the defense that, no, my life was in danger. Well, thanks to that video, that was completely disproved. It was disproven, and then in addition added an obstruction of justice charge to that. Now, he wasn't in danger. He shot him because, at least I believe, he shot him because he felt he could and get away with it. Thankfully, again, for that video evidence, and he couldn't get more clear of that on that evidence, finally you have the family of Walter Scott that can actually get some sort of measure of justice. So, now, look, I want to talk about the case before because I think that's really important. The case that ended in a mistrial. I mean, it was pretty well stacked in favor of Michael Slager. So that's why they couldn't come to, that's why the jury could not come to a consensus, and why there was why there was a mistrial. But look, you see that video evidence, it doesn't matter. You see that video evidence, and it's fairly clear that, again, the police officer was not fearing for his life, not shooting in self-defense, but shooting someone who's running away. And even more damning is, of course, the planting of evidence. So, but I'm sure at least some of the jurors were like, well, he's black, so he's dangerous. And you don't know, maybe he was running to go back and get a bigger gun so he could shoot the police officer. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was doing. The racism present in somebody's mind to have to make that analysis, to make that decision, and ignore the clear video evidence that this officer, was in the wrong, is insane. I'll never understand it. But that's why they had to try him in a federal court, because this is such a clear and stark example of a police officer not in fear of his life, murdering someone. And make no mistake, this is murder. It's also clear evidence of the racial bias that is evident in our system. So thank goodness for this retrial. Thank goodness for Judge Norton for making the right decision that's actually based on the evidence. Hopefully this sends a message to the few cops out there that are racists and think they can get away with doing stuff like this, that they can't, because justice will eventually always find you.